How we doing? Long time no see. Great to see you guys. Huh? Good. Good. Right now 0-0, right? So everything's great. Yep. Yep.
What do the Raiders? Where do they challenge the killer?
I think Tom, their special teams coordinator, has done a phenomenal job. Just he does a lot of different things and he schemes up very well what you're not good at, and it's going to be a challenge, man. They got good personnel over there. They got really good specialists. They got a good returner. Yeah, young returners in the back end on kickoff return. So it's going to be a good challenge. Looking forward to it.
How much is a sense of difficult is it? When you sit 0-0, not really knowing you staff and everything else going up against that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, right, you go through training camp and you got rules in place, and you just got to be ready for everything and be ready to, if they come out with something different that you haven't seen before, you hope your rules hold up against those things right there. And if they don't, then you adjust halftime throughout the game, and that's how it goes in week one. But every team's going through the same thing, so that's just the way it goes.
How do you feel that your group going into the big game?
Feel great, man. Guys have worked their tail off. They're bought into the identity of what we're trying to preach, the culture of what we're trying to preach, and the whole thing we set out to do was right to build a team, earn a role and prepare to win. And I think guys are preparing to win right now, and we're still doing that. It's Thursday, so we still got a couple more days to go.
What did you like from Andy for $1 stuff like that?
Yeah, I just think the whole body of work, from start OTAs through the summertime and through training camp, and I like this whole body of work, and the consistency that he showed there really helped us, as we made a decision down the road there.
With you and Ashby, how happy were you with basically consistency this summer?
Good, man. Every day is a new day. As rookies, those guys are going to hit highs and lows. And I try to tell them, don't ride the roller coaster. Along with myself, of emotion, just continue to get better, stack days. And there's been a lot of days where I have to challenge those guys, and I'm going to continue to do that as we progress because they're still rookies. So they're gonna have their days, and I got to make sure I got my foot on them and make sure they're working their tail off and then earning their role and then continue to prepare to win as well.
I know you didn't overlap with Charles Woods in LA, but how familiar are you with his game? He eventually had the Rollins way.
Yeah, I mean that was a great thing. Me having a close relationship with Chase Blackburn over there, special teams coordinator, and then Stretch being there last year. Him knowing what he brings to the table. So definitely everything works out. If he has a role for our team on special team, that'd be great. Because he did some of those things last year in LA, so it always helps out as the fourth or fifth corner where that may be. They need to be able to help on special teams.
What did you hear about him last year? You guys were kind of making waiver claims, and he was obviously identified as a guy who might help you.
Yeah, just a guy that was a dog. He worked his tail off. Doesn't stand down any challenge. He's got good speed. He's got good tangibles. He's got really good instincts. So all those things right there, I think as a fourth or fifth corner on your team, that those got to be able to translate to special teams, and that's what you're looking for. You got to have a dog out there at gunner or at corner, and those guys got to be able to just take the challenge and be able to run and always be full tilt to the tackle.
You've been here now for more than a year. You're going to have some new guys in your group. How important is it to you, this continuity, having guys who know your system, know how you operate already? And how much does the system that you built over the last year applies to new guys to make it easier for them to get used to playing over here?
Yeah, I think that's always a big thing when you get a chance to work with guys in year 2, year 3 is hopefully that your culture continues to translate and the head coach's culture as well. I think Coach Vrabel's done a good job instilling his identity for the team, and we've been able to take that up to help that. But at the same time, some of the guys that played for me, they've set the standard. And some of the new guys that will be playing for me, hopefully they're going to play to that standard and play their identity right there. And just, where those guys left off, those guys come in and they take over. And that's how every year works, right? New guys come in, they got to take over. And I'm always hoping that the guys I played with last year, most of them are playing on defense now or playing on offense. That means they've graduated from what we did. And now they're starting on offensive defense, which I love. So I'm always happy to do that. So hopefully they left something back in that they're going to help out now.
We hear from offensive and defensive coaches all the time in the preseason about playing vanilla, right? Keep your stuff for when the games matter. How much do you have up your sleeve when it comes to the new kickoff?
I just think, every week's going to be a new week. We continue to adjust and continue to find new ways to attack this thing. And, with some of the new rules that we've seen going into place this year, you're going to see different formations, different schemes. So I would say, I'm always going to be on the forward study of being better next week. This week we have a plan. If there's things I need to do better next week from learning around the league and learning myself, then we need to get better next week. So I think there's always still in year 2 and kind of year 2 of like a lot of adjustments they made to the rules. Like you're going to see a lot of different things now. So I just think it's a continuous learning progression, and we just got to be stay ready with that and study around the league and be ready to adjust when we need to.
Big picture, did anything surprise you about the way teams handled the kickoff and the touchback for this summer?
Well, everyone's covering now. So that's the thing, right? So you got to be able to ready to cover all game, and then and because of that, there's gonna be more in the game plan, right? There's gonna be more things that you got to be ready for, and be able to adjust because now you're not just covering twice a game or once a game. You're gonna maybe be covering 6, 7, 8 times a game.
Curious to get your thoughts on Brendan Schooler, the special teams captain, representative in terms of captain.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question, right? I think that he's deserved every role of that from his performances the last 3 years, and I fully expect him to be where he's at and to be better this year than he was last year. And that's the pressure we want to put on him, but it's not pressure; it's what he's kind of made for himself, and I think he's worked hard enough to we can put that on him. And I think I'm excited to see how he rolls this year and continue to be a leader for this program.
With those extra reps of coverage, do you have to discuss workload with offensive or defensive guys, knowing hey, your core guys are going to be working more than they did last year?
Yeah, I think on special teams you're always working through that. I think whether it's punt return, or the 4 phases, you're always looking at how the workload affects those guys, which guys are starters and not, how many phases they got to play. And but if you're just a core guy, man, you just got to be able to roll. That's just the way it goes, man.
Sam Marcellus and John Baker take gunner snaps. Obviously, both those guys are run now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you decided who that other gunner is going to be opposite Brendan?
No, we're still working through it. It's a work in progress. Again, it's Thursday right now. By Saturday night, Sunday, we'll be ready to rock and roll and figure out who that is. But again, that's just a part of it. That's why we practice, and that's why we rep a lot of different guys. And some guys get reps in games, some guys don't. But you got to be ready to roll when your name's called.
Marcus Jones was the other captain this year, and very important with on special teams. I'm just curious your thoughts on him getting that honor for the team.
I mean, Marcus is a quiet guy. He doesn't say much, but through his work ethic, I mean, he doesn't do anything wrong, to tell you the truth. Like, he works his tail off. He does everything right pre-practice, during practice, post-practice, how he takes care of his body. He's never late. He always shows up. He always communicates. So he's one of the guys you want to represent the team. And I mean, his body of work on the field shows as well, not only on defense but on special teams. So he deserved every role or every bit of that right there.
Coach, on show, what did you see from Dylan Lobby, one of your return guys?
Yeah.
You and HK on this.
Yeah, I love Dylan. He's a great player. I liked him when he's coming out of the draft. To me, he's one of those guys that you love on special teams, right? He's probably do everything right. Going to be at every meeting. He's going to want to learn. He's going to want to be better every single rep, and he plays his tail off. So at the end of the day, those are all qualities that relate to special teams. So I see him being a core guy for them and a guy that we definitely need to prepare for.
No one's going to see that Mike Braves and Stretch to some degree focused a lot on analytics and specifically like the advantage of getting an extra 5 yards in punt return, kick return. How closely are you now working with the numbers? Is there any different consideration to your process, knowing their background and how they evolve that piece?
Yeah, again, I think I'm a forever learner. The growth mindset of just like you don't have all the answers. I'll never have all the answers. So like Vrabel and Stretch, they know a lot about special teams and analytics, and they're always coming with ideas and things like that I can implement, and I'm always open to it. The more the information I can learn from and grow on special teams, I'll take it all day.
We have 2 more questions.
You have a new long snapper, a new kicker, and now a kicker to competition throughout the cap. So how much of a challenge has it been for Bryce? How do you see him?
Bryce has done a great job. I mean, it's never easy to have, like you just said, new kicker, new long snapper, and he's having to adjust from having a long-term vet at long snapper and Joe. So I think he's done a great job being a leader in the room, helping those guys out and how they prepare daily, how they act in the meeting rooms, how they act in the locker rooms. I can't thank him enough for helping me as long dealing with those guys when I'm not around. So he's done a great job.
AJ Cole, obviously, most of the time, Pro Bowl and
Oh, yeah.
Pro. What makes him such a special player, and how do you go about trying to affect him?
I think AJ, man, he's so consistent, man, and he never gets rattled. And it don't matter what happens in the game for him. When you watch him punt, whether it was it could have been a block punt the next player, they could have had a bad field goal opportunity, whatever it may be. He comes back the next rep, he just plays his game, and he's just consistent in what he does, and he's confident. Like that dude out there, you watch him, he's like a Mac Hollins out there talking trash, and I love it, man. He sets the standard for specialists around the league. That's why he's an All-Pro, and got nothing but a lot of respect for the guy.
This has been like working for Mike Ware.
Great. I mean, a guy that is going to have his hand in all phases, but he's going to stay true to the identity and the message to the team consistently, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. And I love having him involved because, again, the players see that and care, and a guy that's also played special teams in his career, so he can talk about it from an actual player standpoint. Unlike me, I'm never playing in the NFL, right? So a guy like that who can do it, who can coach it. If I wasn't here, he can coach it all right now. I guarantee you that. So it's been really good to have somebody be so consistent in the messaging and the culture and trying to get us, ready to win a game.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks,